Government programs and nonprofit organizations are pivotal to successfully integrating into Canadian society. They provide essential resources and services that help immigrant Latina women navigate the complexities of their new environment. From language classes to job training, these programs offer tools and support needed to build a new life in Canada. Tenacity, resilience, and flexibility are some of the capacities that immigrants need to use in their daily adaptation to life in a new country, and these programs help build such capacities.
SEA was started in 1982 as a grassroots organization, a group of women here in Calgary coming together to support immigrant women. And ever since, for the last 41 years, SEWA has been a very good starting point for immigrant and refugee women and girls. And we have a very holistic approach to the way we support women. Every immigrant is an individual, right? And as individuals, we all come from different backgrounds with different levels of education, with different experiences, life experiences, professional experiences, and also different goals and aspirations. And so it's really important to understand the needs and the goals of newcomers as they come into the country. And that's what we do here at SEWA. We look at what women need, what are they looking for, what are the biggest barriers that they're facing, and we try to break down those barriers and support them as best we can in their journeys. The whole process of settling in the new country, housing, healthcare, children's schools, and how to navigate the system in Canada, taxation, all of these things, or getting prepared for the labor market. We have bridging programs, employment programs, entrepreneurship programs, family services. I mean, there are things that we don't think of when we're moving into a new country, but there is family conflict that can come. There are many circumstances where, unfortunately, due to the stressors or the trauma that people are coming with, women fall in situations of gender-based violence, and we have programs to support them to come out of these situations, or cross-cultural parenting. How do you parent a child who is growing up in a different culture to what we're used to? Those things are very important things that affect women and families, and ultimately when we are helping women, we're helping their families. And that's the most important part for us, is that every woman that we serve is a whole family that we're helping move forward or move up in their journey of integrating in this country.
or what agencies like Immigrant Services Calgary and through Gateway, what we do is to help connect newcomers to the right supports so that they can just have a supporting hand in facing those challenges. So, because everyone's journey is unique, when you meet with one of our Gateway planners, they go through all the different questions based on the social determinants of health. And then they help connect each individual to the supports that they might need, which might be different from, the supports that a different newcomer needs. Through Gateway, it's just become more efficient to do that because there's more collaboration, and then our partners get to all, input what their programs and services are into a system that we have so that we can make those connections easier and faster. Because, the good news is that there are a lot of support. The challenge has been to make sure that newcomers know where those supports are and which ones are the right supports for each individual and family.
The program we have is a 10-week training program. When immigrants, we work with women and men. Some people start with an idea, a concrete idea. Other people start with different ideas. And we take them from idea to business plan. And some of them have launched their business. So we have around 25% of people graduated from the program have launched their business. And more people are launching now. So that's what we do. We just support them in their journey. And actually, because I know where they are, I was there a few years back, I also kind of share my story and say, it's possible, you just need to meet the right people. For me, networking is absolutely key. And that's why that is kind of the course in the program. We have training, of course, we have mentoring, but networking from day one. Even I said from day zero, when I interview them, even before they start the program, I start advise them, okay, let's network, let's go to these events. If they don't know anybody, I go to the events with them, so at least they know me and I can introduce them to people. And because I said, after what I've been through, I'm very comfortable at networking here. So even if I don't know anybody, I don't have a problem, right? Introducing myself and introducing others. So that's how we support them as well. So I do that with CCIS, not as a consultant independently. That's my job with them. And to be honest, I like it, I'm having fun, and I still have different ideas in my mind to start my own business, but I'm not in a hurry to do it.
Making Changes was established in 1981, so we're over 40 years. We have been serving women in the Calgary area. It really came from a place of women who were looking for support, newcomers, low-income women that were looking to find ways to get connected to the labor market and to be able to support their families. And over the years, we've introduced new programs and expanded programming. And right now we offer 4 core programs. And it is with the focus of empowerment, education, and helping to elevate the voice of women, newcomer women, low-income women, visible minorities, whatever that looks like, just women and teen girls in general, to give them the confidence and the voice and the skills and resources they need to be successful and find financial independence. So we have 4 programs, pillar programs that we offer here at Making Changes. We have 2 programs that are what we call closet or clothing based. Dress for Success Calgary is focused on women, adult women that are looking for work and or have started work and they need the wardrobe to support them for interviews, for their first few months at work. And as part of that, we also offer a working women's group, a cohort where they can connect with other women that are experiencing the same challenges they are, all about building community. Then our other clothing-based program is My Best Friend's Closet, which is a teen-focused program that provides teen girls with the clothing they need to go to school, to join their teams and clubs, to get part-time work. It's more of an essential needs clothing program. And then we have 2 employment directly employment-focused programs. We have Employment and Life Skills, which is geared towards brand new immigrant women to just help provide basic information about Canadian work culture. What does it look like to find work in Calgary? How to apply for work, help support with resume development. And then we have our Women in Technology program, which is a 6-month intensive training program in full stack web development and Power App, and includes work placement within the tech industry here in Calgary.
We serve just over 16,000 women per year. And why do we focus on women? That's a great question, and a question I asked myself too, because I had been working with immigrants in general for many, many years. And when I started analyzing, okay, why immigrant women, then I started analyzing why do we have so many programs, because CEWA offers over 56 programs to our clients. Well, there are unique barriers and very specific things that women face when coming into the country, and especially when coming from different cultures. So having that gender-focused approach is extremely important for a lot of the women that come to our offices or come through our doors. Also, providing that safe space of we're all in this together, we're all supporting each other, women supporting women is a very important aspect of our work. Ultimately, you are probably familiar with all the gender studies and the importance of having a gender-focused approach in the work that we do and the way we deliver and we design the programming that we are offering is the reason why we only serve women.
It's really important to consider the opportunities or the challenges that are unique to that population and the intersectionality of race, gender. For women, oftentimes women are the caregivers, are the ones that are expected to, take care of the children. And so for my mom, for example, when we came to Canada, she was the main caregiver. She was studying English. She needed to find a place that had childcare. And so little things like that. For example, if you're going to offer English classes, do you offer free childcare as part of it? That will make it a lot more accessible for women to be able to learn English and, maybe later on be able to access different learning opportunities that will help them advance and enter the workforce. So those are kind of little pieces that are important to consider, especially also during the pandemic. Women were mostly negatively affected, precisely because many times they're the ones that are expected to be the caregivers and to be at home. So that I think there's small shifts in the last few years to consider those challenges more, which is a positive step. But of course, there's still a lot more to be done.
The gender makes a difference in how you approach, or how sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, right? So some of the challenges we know is, of course, lack of network, lack of social capital, lack of financial capital as well, and also access to that financial capital because you don't have a credit history. And it's sometimes hard to start, or sometimes you do something wrong at the beginning because you didn't know. So it's kind of also then not knowing how the system works is also a challenge when you're new. We, of course, have the language barrier. And there are I can go on different type of challenges. The other one is cultural also, the cultural shock. And that also is not just men, women, is also the difference between if you're a refugee because you're forced out of your country, so you don't want to adapt because you want to go back. When you have prepared your journey, you're more willing to adapt. And I find we have improved a lot, but there is still a lot of all the patriarchic kind of mentality So when you come here, and especially this province that energy sector is kind of one of the main, or the main industry, it's changing, but it's still one of the main industries. It's a male-dominated industry, so it's harder for women to access. And we still have a big gap in also in salaries between men and women. So even if the women get the job or get the contract, they make less money. And actually what has surprised me is out of the people who have launched their business, the most successful ones have been women, right? So I also noticed that kind of tenacity. And what I believe is, as an immigrant, you need to work twice, right? To let people know who you are, to prove yourself. And then as a woman, add another on top. So you need to work harder. So I find that the women who make it, they're more successful.
I could talk forever about the changes that we are lucky enough to make. I think the fact that we are focused on a women serving women and teen girls is one very big benefit, because we do create a safe space for women and girls. That there are those other dynamics when you're talking about men within the same space, and so it just removes that and really helps women figure out what they need, regardless of which program they're going through, that create that safe space. We hear from the women that we serve that it gives them hope. It gives them experience and tools that really helps them ladder into their next stage as they are looking to build a life here and grow their life here, not only for themselves, but for their children. We love the fact that even though we may be serving a woman, we really recognize it is not just the woman whose lives we're changing. It is, they get to see and show to their daughter what is possible, to then help empower their daughter to step up and step in and do things maybe they wouldn't have otherwise felt comfortable doing. Their neighbors, their sisters, their aunties, all of that. It really then moves from the home to the community, which then strengthens Calgary. And, you know, the ripple effect is huge.
Ultimately, I mean, we know that the country needs newcomers, and we need people to come in and contribute to our economy. We need people to come and help our population growth. But if we bring people in who are not able to integrate, to succeed, to achieve their goals, we're not doing anything. We're actually doing a disservice to our country. So when a newcomer comes in and it takes them 10, 12 years to get back to their field of work, or when they're struggling and not building a community, not building a network, not having familial relationships, friendships, things that they can connect to and make them feel like they're in their new home, we actually are faced or confronting much bigger problems.
From the women's stories that we see and hear, I think a real miss on behalf of Canada is not being a bit more honest about the realities of the barriers. I think there is a selling how easy and good it's going to be when you immigrate to Canada, but it's really, as you said, it's really hard, and there are very real and significant barriers, and that is so discouraging for the newcomers that come in, that we see in the women, in that there was a sense of, I'll be able to land, and in a few months I'll be up and running and have a good job and good to go. And that is not the reality as well at all. So you've got the combination of not really having a realistic picture of what is involved, And then the funding for resources and supports is very limited and continues to be a struggle at all levels of government. There just isn't really the funding to properly staff and provide enough resources. We have wait lists that we've never seen before for all of our programs. And it is heartbreaking because these are individuals that absolutely need support, not 6 months from now, not a year from now. They needed it yesterday. And we're not unique to that. We know that that's across the community agencies that we partner with. And that is another important learning and a really important piece that funders need to recognize. So the combination of just how do we help create realistic expectations and then make sure we have the right support when people do arrive.
I think, at the beginning, it was very new. It was also new technology that we were using. And because of the way the sector and the funding process was established, it really used to lead to more competition between agencies. And so there was always that hesitancy to, do I want to be part of this? Is that going to take away funding? But really what we've been able to prove and through that conversation and building trust with our partners is the fact that, it's not about taking funding or taking programs away. It's really about looking at the sector together and thinking about, okay, if we are all offering program A, it might not be as efficient as if you focus more on this, or we need to improve, this program because we're getting negative feedback from clients. And so it really is a way to make the whole sector work better for newcomers and to be more client-centric than we had ever been in the past.
We are better and stronger if we work together. I do not believe one agency can fit the needs of everybody. So I think the value in having that diversity allows some specialization for agencies where really we want to add value to the community. We don't want to duplicate work that's already being done in the community. So allowing that uniqueness so that women or individuals can find the supports that really are the best for them. It allows and encourages then also that specialization. And so, whether that be violence or mental health or broad settlement, housing, resources, it's a fine balance. And I think Gateway in particular does a really good job of, you don't want somebody who's new to a community to have to go to 100 different places, but to be able to have a service like Gateway where they can say, you can come to, they can be the conduit that directs to then the specialized services that would be the best fit for them. I think as a nonprofit, when funds are limited, there's less funding to go around. There are more agencies out that are looking to help. It's easy to feel that there's scarcity and that you have to be competitive. I think it's the exact opposite. I think the more collaborative we can be, the better we can use the funding that is available and the better we can meet the needs of the clients. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like that's the most important piece is the individuals that we serve.
The idea for Gateway was probably around 3-4 years ago. And then we officially launched it 2 years ago. And it really involved collaboration among the sector. So it wasn't just Immigrant Services Calgary. We kind of led the way, but the formulation and the development of Gateway really came from the input from a lot of our partners in the sector. And so that main challenge that you mentioned, that newcomers just might not know where the supports are, or they might go to 5 different agencies and have to tell their story 5 different times, which for a lot of newcomers can be a very traumatizing experience in itself. That's something that we wanted to address with Gateway. So they could have one place where they start their journey, talk to one of our Gateway planners, explain their situation, what are their immediate needs, and then what are their long-term goals, and how can we connect them to the supports in the sector so that they can achieve those goals. It really involved a lot of collaboration. We could have never done it on our own, and so that's one thing that we wanted to improve for the sector as well, because in the past it was very much agencies working in silos, and so we needed to come together so that we could have a bigger impact and be more efficient in the way that we connect newcomers to the supports that are available.
I think the organizations that truly succeed and make a difference, it is the people involved have a passion and are committed, because it is hard work. You're doing a lot of work, again, that limited funds, building these community organizations, these grassroots organizations, the nonprofits, you're not getting rich off of it. And so it has to come from a place of passion. So if you are working with other individuals that share that passion and have shared values, I think from there you can go wherever you need or want it to go. Because from there you build that trust and the healthy debate, and that is and be willing, again, it goes back to being brave. You are going to have to try things, and you will have successes and you will have failures. And it's just being willing to keep trying, and you'll find your space for that.
I feel that things happen for a reason. The days I'm having those hard days, super tired, a lot of work, and then I receive a phone call or a text, or someone comes with a gift. I say, oh my gosh, that is the piece. Oh my gosh, I'm making a difference in people's life.
In immigrants, most important.
And I'm going to cry now.
So advocacy is a big piece for us too, because we need to be able to provide a voice to people that might not have a voice. So raising awareness and advocacy have been big, areas where we work together for immigrant seniors. And then just being able to connect with them. We're not just here downtown Calgary. We go out to communities and connect with ethnocultural communities, faith-based communities, so that we can be present and provide opportunities for seniors and for other newcomers to connect with us so that we can help them connect with supports.
And I'd like to encourage everyone to come and visit SIWA and see what we can do for you, because that's what we're here for. We're here to support as many women as we can and help them through this fabulous journey of becoming a contributing Canadian citizen.
I think the biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to look and ask for help. I think even there are some gender trends, norms where women are not encouraged to ask for help. Again, we're encouraged to be quiet and just be thankful for what we get. And I think the best thing you could possibly do for yourself is to use your voice, to ask for help, to reach out. We are lucky in Canada in that there are, in all of the different communities, there are resources available, and just keep asking. be brave. I can only imagine how scary it is to step into a space you've never been in before, maybe don't speak the language, but keep trying, being brave, and you will find your community, because all you need is one connection, one piece of support, whether it be a caseworker or an agency or a fellow woman who's going through the same experience, and that then just ripples out. So just be brave and ask for help until you find the start of that new community. And then don't forget to give your hand out to others, because that is a big piece. Is we can't do it ourselves, but we can't forget to put our hand out to the people coming behind us or after us either.